absolutely fabulous. So if you've got to get something done or you're recovering from a heart attack or something else, definitely a place to call. You can also go online, thewellbridgegroup.com. So check them out, 734-954-6700. All right, so we're talking about Islam and how it's not necessarily fitting in with the rest of the Western world. Let's take a call from Jasmine in Chicago. Jasmine, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jasmine.
Hi, Gary. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm enjoying my Saturday listening to you guys.
Oh,
wow.
Fabulous.
I'm actually at work, so you guys make the hours go by a little bit quicker.
Anything's better than work.
Well, the time flies here, I can assure you that. I don't know how we went through a full half hour of the show without getting off of one subject. So what do you got?
I know. I'm fascinated. Actually, a couple of comments here real quick. First of all, I had a coworker who was sitting with me not too long ago, a few minutes ago, and when everybody was talking about the Muslims, I could have sworn that you guys were talking about liberals.
Liberals?
Yeah, because it was like, she's saying, are they talking about Muslims? And I go, I think they're talking about Muslims. Doesn't that sound an awful lot like liberals?
Yeah, my way or the highway?
Yeah, well, that's the one thing they seem to have in common, right?
Yeah.
Total intolerance for anybody else's opinion.
And a fascist attack.
Absolutely. And the other thing I wanted to mention was one of your callers had talked about moderate Muslims. I consider myself a fairly well-informed person, and I see a lot of reports and a lot of surveys and polls, and they say that, if they're correct, that 2/3 of the Muslim population who consider themselves, moderate or extreme, believe in some form of Sharia law.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how that's moderate, because Sharia law, from what I know of it, is quite reprehensible.
Well, they're self-described.
I don't understand. I guess I'm having a hard time.
Yeah,
I think most Nazis thought they were moderate.
That's right. Yeah,
exactly.
What you're quoting from is the Pew Research poll, which did surveys of Muslims around the world and even here in the United States, and found that an extremely large percentage, more than a majority of so-called moderate Muslims did believe that Sharia law should be instituted here in the United States of America. And that's, you cannot have the Constitution and Sharia law. They are completely antithetical to each other. There's just no way that you can do that. And so if you want to be, there's a reason in Japan there are no mosques. They're illegal. You want to worship, you worship at home. That's what it's allowed, because the Japanese realize their culture is at stake, and they've taken very, very few refugees in. I mean, we're talking double digits, the last report I saw. So the Japanese know something and are much smarter than we are. And let's be honest, even in Saudi Arabia, they're not taking the refugees from the other parts of the Middle East, right?
Right.
You got to ask yourself, what is it that they know better than us? I mean, they want the rest of us to take them, and yet Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia are not taking that flow of refugees like Western Europe is.
Well, I always get very frustrated when I'm watching the news and they'll have somebody on and they'll say, when is America going to take their share? And Tucker Carlson recently on one of his shows said, he was questioning somebody and he said, what is the cutoff point? At what point do we stop being, against people and against being bigots? I mean, is it 1 million? Once we take in 1 million, is that the point where we're, okay, now we're cool now? Or does it just continue to go on and on and on? Exactly whose opinion is it that, this is the amount of people we should take in that makes us, the humane country, quote unquote.
Right. Well, for me, when it comes to the matter of immigration, I think we should stop it right here and now. Anywhere. I don't care where you're from. We have enough people here and not enough jobs. And you wonder why people's salaries have not gone up in the last 14 years? It's simple economics. Not enough jobs, too many people, and yet you continually to bring them in. And you have to ask yourself why the Democrats, who claim to be
for the people,
for the working person, for the working people, continually bring in new blood, new people to compete for the jobs that working people here in the United States need. What is going on? What is the ulterior motive of the Democrats to continually hurt working class people, to hurt the poorest urban of people? And
well, I think the answer is very obvious. It's money and votes.
That's exactly
Jasmine,
right.
you were talking about Tucker, and I think the night before last night, I think he had on the gentleman you were talking about, and the night before last, he had on a former illegal immigrant who went on to marry. I mean, she became very wealthy working at Goldman Sachs, I think, and then she went on to marry into citizenship, which should be a crime in itself, and I thought was. And so now she's legal, and she's here, and she was talking about, we need to bring in more immigrants for the economy. We need a path. We need a path. We have a path. There's already a path. The whole point is to stop the illegal path. But we have a legal path for immigration. But when somebody like that argues that it's good for the economy, I'm thinking, what about all the unemployed American citizens?
Yeah, that is a bald-faced lie when people say immigration is good for this country. It's not.
Well, I always think of if they're so great for their economy, for our economy, why is their economy so screwed? You know?
Yeah.
I don't understand that reasoning, and also that woman that you mentioned. She not only was she illegally here and married a citizen to become a quote unquote legal citizen, she went on Tucker Carlson and basically was proud of the fact that she had used a fake Social Security number.
Yeah, and
to get her benefits, and that to me as a college, college.
And why is that not retroactively punishable? I mean, I'm assuming it's past 7 years or something.
She had actually said that she had used a made-up Social Security number. Now, I doubt that, but that's what she said. I mean, obviously, the number must have belonged to somebody else. You know?
Right.
But we never got Obama for using somebody else's Social Security number, so why should we get her?
Right.
I'm not too familiar with who Obama is. Are you talking about Barry?
Sotero. I'm sorry, Mr. Sotero.
That's right. And people complain about Trump's taxes, and we still haven't seen Barack Barry Sotero Obama's birth certificate. Not the real one. That one online is phony. I don't care what anybody says. College transcripts, everything else.
If you're going to get hung up on facts, I mean, come on, guys. I always say liberals are kind of like, 15-year-old boys who get a girl in the backseat of the car for the first time. That's like liberals. And the boys are with, like, the bras. They don't know how to work them. So to me, that's like liberals trying to work facts.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, Jasmine, a great call, man. You're obviously simpatico with our way of thinking.
How did you come to call in? How did you come to listen to the show? I'm curious.
Jasmine is one of my Twitter folks.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I do. I follow Gary, and I've been listening to the podcast. And first time I've actually been listening on the radio, but I follow the podcast, and when I can't listen to it live, I usually would just go back and look through the library and pull up what Gary's up to. So, it's great to have a conversation with someone that's not like, what did you say? Oh my God, that's totally politically incorrect. And I'm like, get away from me.
Right, now, because Chicago, right, is not so conservative, right? It's Barry's hometown.
No, it's not at all. And we've got that incredible joke of a mayor.
Right. Rom, Dead Fish Emmanuel. Isn't that what Sean Hannity calls him? Dead Fish.
Yeah. I mean, we've got him. New York has Comrade de Blasio.
Yeah. Well, Jasmine, great points. Loved having your call. Make sure you're calling again because obviously you are well informed and taking care of business. So
that's because I listen to you guys.
Oh. I think you might get a tenth of what you seem to already know from us, but the rest of it, you're obviously very well informed. So spread the news out there in Chicago. Love having great calls like this.
I will.
All right.
I will.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work, guys.
Great. Take care. Thanks, Jasmine. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So there you go. Chicago. Some conservatives in Chicago, right? Gotta love that.
Yeah, the difference proves the rule, right?
Right, exactly right. So let's kind of move off of this subject and move on to, there was something you wanted to, you want to talk about Dr., is he a doctor, William Federer?
No, I don't think he's a doctor.
Go ahead and let's talk about him.
Well, given the subject was Islam, there's a gentleman named William J. Federer. He does what's called the American Minute. He has a web page called the American Minute, And he's been on a number of radio shows, and he's done his own show, and he's an author of a number of books. And he's going to be doing a talk at the Big Sky Diner on the evening of May 12th, invited by the Willow Run Tea Party Caucus. And actually, that night, he'll be spending the night at my house.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you're getting a full education right
Yes.
through dinner, right?
And the next day, he's going to be doing an engagement all day at Grace Baptist Church in Belleville, and he's going to take between 1 and 1:30 to make himself available to talk to us on the air.
Oh, nice. Okay,
So
good.
his subject is going to be Islam and the Christian Foundation of America.
Good. That'll be awesome. All right, well, Derek, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the effects of this French terror attack, and will it affect the French election tomorrow? Okay, see you on the other side.
Your advertising dollar needs to go a long way, and it does with Wham Talk 1600. You can't find a more affordable economic bang for your buck. The Yellow Pages, that's covered with dust lost in a closet someplace. Cable television, nobody watches cable TV during the day. They may watch 3 hours at night at best. Music radio is background noise. Same tired tunes over and over again. Nobody's listening. That's not the case with Wham Talk 1600. You can't turn off Wham Talk 1600 radio. It's fresh and interesting day or night. People are listening. Around the clock, people listen. You're listening right now. So are your potential customers, and we cover all of southeastern Michigan with talk radio and information people pay attention to. This is talk and information radio people are talking about. Your business needs to be heard on Michigan's most exciting talk radio station. Your business needs to be advertising on Wham Talk 1600. Call 734-971-1600 today. That's 734-971-1600 for our super affordable rates and super advertising results. Start advertising today on Wham Talk 1600.
I emigrated from Venezuela, one of the most dangerous countries in the world today. A few years ago, the government came for our guns. We were told we would be safer without them. Of course, the politicians, the rich and famous, their bodyguards and criminals, they still have their guns. Everyone else lives in fear. Mothers and fathers are powerless to defend their families. But the drug cartels and gangs, the colectivos, still have all the guns they want, and 90% of murders are never solved. The biggest mistake Venezuelans made was believing that this could never happen. Today, they would do anything for the Second Amendment freedom that we enjoy as Americans. Never, ever take it for granted. I am the National Rifle Association of America, and I am freedom's safest place.
Families hit by drug addiction already know how difficult this problem is to solve. In many cases, addicts have tried multiple 28-day or 12-step programs that did not work. Narconon Freedom Center believes that addiction is neither inherited nor an incurable disease that requires indefinite treatment or medication for the rest of a person's life. Narconon Freedom Center's drug addiction program consists of unique techniques to assist addicts to overcome drug and alcohol dependencies and the damaging effects to an addict's life. This is done naturally, and there is no substitution drug to handle one drug addiction by inheriting another. Narconon Freedom Center's goal is for each individual to achieve and maintain long-term success. Any family member or loved one of an addict, please do not hesitate to call Narconon Freedom Center at 517-629-6749 and reach out for help. That's 517-629-6749. We are in this battle together, and as a team, we can fix the problem of addiction.
Baby, driving late one night. I must have said something wrong, 'cause she got a little uptight. She said, "Stop this car, man.